Hey everybody, Chris and Holly Turner. Thank you so much for responding to this conservative action alert. We've got a big opportunity for you to engage and to help President Trump and the administration on a huge issue that has been flying underneath the radar screen because, amazingly, our friends in the ultra left-wing liberal media don't want to tell you about it. So we are going to tell you about it. And in particular, I'm going to hand it off to Holly to tell you what's going on, and then we'll talk about what we can do about it.
Okay, so if you are saving for your retirement, Chris and I are, whether that's you put money into an investment account, mutual funds, or your work has a retirement account for you, likelihood is that you are not logging in to vote on shareholder proposals every day. I know Chris and I don't. We don't vote on shareholder proposals or anything like that. We invest our money in a mutual fund and they take care of all that for us. But what we've discovered is that it's not our place of work or our mutual fund that's actually doing all of the shareholder voting for us. Sometimes they're hiring these firms, they're called proxy firms, and these proxy firms, proxy advisory firms, are voting on behalf of us, the shareholders. And this is great because we don't have time to do it and they know more about it and they can do research and things like that. But recently they've started doing something different. And instead of voting on the issues, shareholder proposals and things like that, in a way that would give us the best return and it's best for us financially, they've started voting on things that would help their progressive left agenda. Okay. So we're seeing, and not only are they voting, but they're submitting shareholder proposals too. So we're seeing abortion, climate change, sanctuary cities, gun control. These are all issues now that these companies are being forced to deal with because these proxy advisory firms are saying, hey, we want to talk about this and you need to give money to this and you need to not support vendors unless they support all these things. And they're really holding these companies hostage. Look, these companies, many of them are started by moms and pops. They just want to give their investors a good return. And these proxy advisory firms are coming in. They're kind of bullies and they're pushing a very, very progressive agenda. And it's very upsetting.
And so let me make sure I understand this correctly. So they're doing all these terrible things,
right? And
they're doing it with shares purchased with our money.
Yeah, there are shares.
Right.
And so it's a two-pronged problem. It's, first of all, we're not getting as much money back on our investment as we should, and they're supporting things that we fundamentally disagree with. They're against our beliefs.
Yeah, so and I think I saw a report that came out recently that showed that straight up on the financial return side, when these companies are doing things that don't build value to us, that don't improve their products, improve customer service, but instead pursue this ultra left-wing political agenda, guess what? They make less money, and that means we make less money. So I think I saw, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I saw that these companies are performing, or these mutual funds are performing at a rate of about just under 44% weaker.
Yeah, it's almost half.
Yeah.
You're getting about almost half of your money stolen and given to things like abortion and open borders.
Yeah, so not good.
Cities.
So what can we do about it?
Okay, so President Trump has, he appointed someone to run the Securities and Exchange Commission, which oversees them. Chairman Clayton. He is awesome, Chris. He's so good. He's a conservative. He's been a lawyer for a really long time. He understands this.
On Wall Street.
Yeah. Oh, no. He's been on Wall Street. He understands this. Holds people accountable, does not like corruption, does not like games like this being played. So this has been something that's upset him for a while. He has written a new rule that would curb some of the power of these proxy firms. So it would really prevent them from being able to just abuse the companies and the shareholders as much as they are now. It's a great first step, but the liberals, media has not really drawn a lot of attention to it, but the liberal left is outraged. They're furious. And so a lot of these organizations that get money, some of these shareholder proposals are giving money to organizations that oppose the Second Amendment and oppose the First Amendment and oppose the right to life. Right. So these liberal organizations are getting money from these companies because they've been bullied into doing it by these firms. So now, of course, all of these organizations, these liberal organizations, are writing letters. Some of them are really nasty to Chairman Clayton to try and get him to stop this rule. And we need to show Chairman Clayton that we support him. So it's really liberals versus conservatives.
Yeah,
and
simple.
Whoever gets the most letters in wins. And if we can give Chairman Clayton, if we can show him enough support, then this letter is going to move to the next level and the SEC will vote on it and it will likely pass.
Okay, so I'm going to hold this up and Holly's going to walk you through what we need you to do.
Yep. So what we need to do, and Chris and I are doing this ourselves. We've asked all of our family and friends to do this, and we would love it if you would share this with them too. But you need to send an email just from your personal email. Send it to rule-comments@sec.gov. And in the subject line, you need to be sure you put the rule number. Right. And so I had a friend send it in, and she didn't put that, and they didn't count it. So be sure you put that in there, or you have to do it again. But it's really important. The email can be very simple. It's basically this: Dear Chairman Clayton, I support this rule. Thank you for standing up for us, and you're doing a great job. Tell them thank you. Maybe tell them a little bit about yourself. Tell them your name. Tell them where you're from. Tell them about your family. Maybe you're retired. Maybe you're a police officer. Give him some context that you're a real American, because most of the letters he's getting are from the left. They're from these people, frankly, who don't have real jobs. They're community organizers, Chris, and it's very irritating. So he wants to hear from real Americans, because that's who this is impacting.
Yeah,
so tell him about yourself.
He's given speeches where he literally highlights, look, I got a letter from Joe, who's a Marine veteran who lives in Wichita, Kansas, or I got a letter from Sarah. She's a teacher in Lexington, Kentucky. Yeah. So to the degree that you could start off, Dear Chairman Clayton, I'm writing about this particular rule. I want to express my support. I live in this part of the country. I have this kind of real job. I've got this number of kids, or whatever your status is. Just tell them a little bit about yourself, and then say, keep up the great work and pass this rule to protect all of us.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, the Trump administration officials do not get told. They are not getting a lot of thank yous. So while you're sending this in, just tell them thank you. Nobody's telling them thank you. They only get hate, and it's really sad. They're doing such a great job. So while you're sending the email in, tell them thank you.
We're also going to say thank you to you for all of this. So go out there and get them. Protect your retirements, and frankly, let's start protecting these companies from these liberal mobs. And these liberal proxy advisory firms. All right, that's it from us. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you again soon.